This is gonna be one part rant and one part solution. So the first part is coming is the rant part. So let me rant a little bit about what's been going on online about the MPC X SE, as they may call it, and everybody's opinion about it. You know what I'm saying? Let me just give my opinion about it. First off, years back, I purchased an MPC Live, the little gold brick, you know what I'm saying? And so, first edition, you know what I'm saying? So, when I got it, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna lie. I connected it and I expected it to sound like what I thought an MPC would sound like, back in the day. Because I started on an MPC. I started on the 2000. You know what I'm saying? I started on the 60 and the 2000. I had somebody who got a hold of the 60, and then the same person that let them borrow that, they let them borrow 2000 too. So I got both worlds. You know what I'm saying? And this is way back in the day when I was 16. So, I got access to ASR, you know what I'm saying? And so it was just like I knew those worlds of how those devices just sound coming through the speakers. Just pro level speakers, like pro level audio speakers, the way they came through, you ain't really have to put a lot on them. You know what I'm saying? If you EQ'd it and you did stuff for taste. It was only when I switched to the digital realm where I felt like I had to boost stuff, and you had to know effects to be able to compete with a major record. You couldn't even compete with a major record back in the day with just the minimum of effects on stuff when you was coming straight out of a computer. So a lot of people got to think about that too. It's like some of us at a certain age has been doing this ever since we was teenagers, ever since way back then, mid 90s. We know the days where you couldn't make a beat on a computer. It had to be analog. So an instrument sounded like an instrument. A keyboard sounded like a fucking keyboard. You know what I'm saying? It was like, man, the keyboards back in the day had way hotter signals than the keyboards now. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I don't know if it's the DAX on them. I haven't done a super deep diving into it. I know most of them back in the day used PCM, and most of this stuff now, since memory has gotten so great that it can just be stored, you know what I'm saying, inside of the memory of the actual device on the motherboard. But devices back in the day, like the Tritons and the Motif, they had designated PCM cards. So this is where all the sounds were on. These cards were basically created to generate those sounds. And those sounds were so superior that that's what was used on albums, because it had a certain output level in the studio where you didn't really have to do a lot to it. So everybody was grabbing the best. Of course, everybody's gonna grab the best because everybody's trying to do the best. Everybody's trying to make everybody is trying to top the real charts. And you had to sell real CDs back then. So everybody can talk all this stuff. Music ain't a competition. Back then it was. As far as producers and sound and your album coming out the same week or a week after the next artist, yes, it was a competition of sound. Your stuff had to change music somehow for it to get noticed. Sonically, somehow. It could be a great idea, but sonically it had to change sound. And everybody that's been making music from back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna name no names. There's some great legends out here online that know what I'm talking about. They can name some stuff back in the day where they like, I had to compete with that person. I had to compete with this person. You know what I'm saying? When I bought my Triton back in 2003, you know what I'm saying? I bought a Triton LE back in 2003. I ain't even bought a big boy. My Triton LE is way louder than my MPC Live. I don't know what, I can't really describe it. I can't really, you know what I'm saying, go into detail. I can go into a nerd spec about DACs. You know what I'm saying? But based on the specs of the DAC that's in this thing that I looked up, it can't even really compete with the best sound cards. So let's go down the road, because now we finna go into the solution zone, because maybe I'm thinking about this wrong. Maybe we thinking about this wrong. Maybe it's labeled wrong. Maybe it's really what we're reading on the side of this box. It does say MPC, music production computer. So maybe it's just meant to be the brain and not the actual output ultimately of the sound, which brings us to the ultimate blessing and solution of this whole debacle. So let's go down the list of sound cards and their total outputs. Most of the Focusrites, I know a lot of people was asking about the Focusrites. Most of the Focusrites only get an output of probably about 12 dB. Most of the Motuls I see are getting an output of plus 16 to plus 18 on their higher end of stuff. Now the next level up from that would be the Neumann. The Neumann is, oh, I left one out. The Vote is getting plus 15 and a half. The Neumann outputs will get you plus 24 headroom of dB. So that's getting close. That's getting almost close to professional mixer console level. But if you really want to go to town and you really want to just blow any MPC out the water that's modern, that's like a digital computer, because you got to realize this device is nowhere. The only thing that's similar on this device and the other one is probably a little bit of the workflow. I mean, I say a little bit, maybe they took 20% of the workflow, because the screen is completely different, ladies and gentlemen. But the pads, the buttons, the main buttons on it, how you trigger and select things, you know what I'm saying, even from the top, and different banks are similar to MPCs of the past. That's why we still can fall in love with these devices from a certain standpoint. But maybe they're just music production computers. They are not sound devices. Maybe the sound device comes from it being able to be modern and being able to connect to a USB network to a digital to audio converter. And maybe this digital to audio converter can be an SSL BIG SiX. And maybe it can run up to 6 channels of different sounds in stereo, and being able to adjust these 6 different channels with SSL style equalizers. And then 2 of them you can adjust with compression. And then you have a master bus compression that you can utilize too. Now, I know a lot of y'all saying, well, how I'm gonna track this out? How I'm gonna get this into my computer? I'm about to give you a tip of the way I do things. I track everything out single instrument, individually, to having the computer like it's set up in a mixer board on a, you know what I'm saying, laid out composer spreadsheet in my DAW. So that's why it don't matter what DAW I use. I use Logic because it's the cleanest as far as functionality, as far as using plugins. But I can use FL Studios if I want to use this same technique, because I've done it before. You know what I'm saying? I used to use Reasons digitally, and I would export that to FL Studios. And then I would use FL Studios for my drums. And then I would make my track out in there. You know what I'm saying? So I would have all my sounds composed in Reasons, and then have my drums in FL Studios. You know, it was still hybrid. It was like I was using Reasons for the keyboard, and I was using FL Studios for the MPC. But the FL Studios was like the motherboard of everything. But maybe now that Akai has kind of just did their thing, maybe they blessed me to be like, you know what? Maybe I do need a cheat code. Maybe even if it had great sound, just say if it had greater sound than it had, like, because the thing about it is that, and I know a lot of y'all gonna comment, Akai can't give us the maximum output level. That's one thing they haven't gave you in the specs. You can look it up in the user's manual. You can go to backlogs of people. Nobody can tell you the maximum output level of the MPC Live, MPC X, MPC Live 2, or the MPC 1. They can't tell you the maximum output level. And that counts. Because even Korg can tell you the maximum output level. And that's plus 16. But even at plus 16, that's the maximum output level of maybe minus 6 dB before you start distorting. You know what I'm saying? So you could put out at max, but at some levels of some devices, once you get to its limit, it depends on where its pots is set. If its pots is set just to stay safe, then you won't probably hit plus 6. It probably won't be plus 16 because my keyboard ain't plus 16. Because I know it. You know how I know it? Because I'm going into an SSL 6. And if I know I'm going into an SSL 6, I know it's measuring the input volume level at the right volume, being let's just say at -3. But still, it wasn't going in. My keyboard, when I first set up, no, it was not. Yeah, it wasn't at no plus 16, even the loudest. You know what I'm saying? With it all the way cranked up. So let's just say that. So let's just say the Big Six gets you plus 27, and most of y'all gonna say, "Well, damn, how am I gonna get it in the computer?" This is how you get it in the computer. If the SSL Big Six is giving you plus 27, then you connect it to another motherboard via line level, just like you was gonna plus out of the MPC Live if you was gonna go straight analog in. But now at least you have a full deck control network of all equalization and 2 controls of compression, and you have a mixed bus compressor. So if you want to compress stuff going out, just say if you want to be on the fly, like that hi-hat that you wanted to kind of ring and snap it just a little bit more, you can turn down that threshold a little bit more on that master bus compressor and turn up the output gain on it and get a little more beefier hi-hat. You just have to reset it when you get done, but that's a part of being an engineer. If y'all want the ultimate sound, you gotta have that mindset in the first place. So the solution gotta be you. They ain't gonna ever make, if they make an MPC with plus 27, they ain't gonna ever do that. Let's just say that. They ain't gonna ever make an MPC with plus 27. I dare Kai to make, that's my challenge. I dare Kai to even make plus 24 MPC. They ain't finna do that. They ain't even gonna do it. I dare them to even display the total output, because guess what? The output amp of the MPC Live, the MPC X, and the damn MPC Pro, all of the output amplifiers, the output levels are connected to the output level of the headphones. So it's the same. You know what I'm saying? It's the same adjustment. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing is like, like real talk, you ain't finna get me on that the new stuff sound better than the old stuff, because it's not. It probably is not meant to be. It probably is not meant to be. But the sound of it sounds good enough to where I can go into some respectful analog gear and get benefits out of that sound to where I get it to where I can get it to a certain level. Maybe it's not meant to do that. Maybe they need to explain that, and maybe they need to make it, you know what I'm saying, maybe a little bit more accessible, or making a separate device to where it is the damn DAC, to where you get that plus whatever pro level, and we'll pay for it, even if it's an extra $750. Maybe it's just as much as the upgrade, but maybe it's just a USB box that just got a Akai MPC on it, but the circuits in it got like transformers that you can activate and all types of other stuff that you can just hit on analog, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they got a freaking master bus compressor on the front of it. Maybe it's like that, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the SSL, but guess what? For about $2,500, the SSL Big Six, it can do all that plus more. So why would I buy, you know what I'm saying, the MPC, or why would I even think that I'm lacking? Why won't I just be like, hey, this is the way. That's the blessing. The reason why the Big Six is, you know what I'm saying, available is probably for solutions like this. This is the ultimate, pretty much, USB DAC setup. You can split all of the USB channels into the actual SSL. And for those who think they're gonna use more than 6 channels for their percussion, if you're using more than 6 goddamn pieces of percussion on your actual track, then what the fuck? I mean, for those who, now, I gotta say it, this wouldn't be a solution for those who like tracking out and they use more channels on the MPC, because I do use mine with my keyboard. So, y'all gotta realize that I got a whole nother bank of sounds that I use that the sound comes out of another device. You know what I'm saying? So I only need 6 channels at the most for a beat. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like on like R&B and stuff, sometimes I only use like 4. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on what I'm doing at the time. You know, if I'm doing something like yacht music, guess what? I could double up on one channel, but I don't know how. If they both are like hands percussion, then I don't know how to utilize those in one channel, because I'm only gonna solo and mix one. Like I said, I export one sound per channel online. So it ain't just like I'm exporting the whole fucking goddamn mix inside the computer. Y'all niggas stop doing that. Why would you do that? Why don't you just take your time and just record the damn loop like you made the loop? If you made a drum inside the MPC, record the drum loop. Don't record the whole. Why you track down the whole damn mix? What sense does that make? Why won't you track it out like you can have control of each different track? Oh, it takes time to do that. That's what music is. It takes time. Music takes time. The more time you put into it, the more the audience gonna be like, oh my God, because in that 3 to 4 minutes that you got them for a lifetime, it need to sound like somebody actually did something and they did something great. It don't need to sound like somebody just did something at random. It takes time. So if you into your shit, it won't even matter if you got an SSL 6. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You be willing to take the time to make your shit great. You know what I'm saying? You be willing to have the patience to be like, you know, this is what I'm gonna do to make it sound the best. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's setting each cue as I'm making the track. You know what I'm saying? You make the beat, you make the drum, you make the kick, you go to the SSL BIG SiX, you adjust it, then you do the snare, and then you adjust the snare, you make that snare sound like you want it. That's mixing. You go to the next one. But guess what? With that SSL 6, there is no other freaking digital to audio converter that's gonna give you a plus 27 line level output at XX. It does quarter inch, but even though it does quarter inch, it does quarter inch at plus 27 line level output. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, why wouldn't you like go from there to go into whatever you going into, and you ain't got to go into at plus 27. There's a master bus fader for it. You go into whatever level you want to go into. Like you want to go into plus 18, you can. But the actual board is pumping your beat out at plus 27. So it's as loud as it possible could be, and you can adjust that volume to where you want to put it in, going through whatever you want to go through. I recommend another 6, and then you go into SSL 2, and then the SSL 2 gets plus 24 line level input maximum. So you going into the computer at maximum plus 24, and most stuff is gonna go in at plus 18, and then you track out and you record out, and boom, guess what? You in the digital space now. Now you can wreak havoc with great sound. But if you don't have that great sound from the beginning, that's where I'm coming in at why I'm mad, because it's like you shouldn't have to do all this, but there's blessings. But if y'all young whippersnappers gotta understand that sound freaking matters. Why you think all these classic records y'all trying to sample? Y'all trying to sample shit that we made with the better machines. But you trying to use the better machines and thinking that you can make some shit back in the day without having some type of analog intervention, because it is not a true analog machine. It is a music production computer, and it's one of the best, if not the best, sequencers that I've ever used in my life. You know what I'm saying? I make all my tracks in its sequencer. So its sequencer is one of the best I've ever used in my life. But its ultimate sound coming out the jacks out of the back is not the hottest output that I've ever seen come out of a device. My Triton was. I still want to buy another one of my Tritons, and I will. But my Triton was the hottest thing smoking. Sorry. Some of y'all might disagree. Go buy a Triton LE and tell me it ain't. Go buy a Triton LE and tell me it ain't louder than an MPC 61 key. Real talk. Challenge me on that. Somebody buy a Triton LE and tell me it ain't louder than an MPC key 61. And I love Akai, but it ain't that. It's not made to perform live. The MPC live is not made. Its output is not made to perform live. It is a MPC is a music production computer. But they give you the option, thank God, they give you the option to hook it up to whatever DAC you want. You know what I'm saying? And whatever DAC, most DACs are compliant. If it's some strange shit, then it might not hook up. But most DACs are compliant when you hook them up, and you hook them up to that, and boom, and you go into whatever mixer you going into. But you still need some analog intervention, because it is not completely analog. It doesn't say music production computer plus analog. Now, if it said that, now if y'all create that need to be the tagline slogan. It need to be music production computer plus analog. Like, yeah, this is a plus 27 DAC strapped to a MPC, so you ain't gotta even strap it to nothing. Then yeah, I'm all for it. With a master equalizer and a master compressor on it, and it's not digital, it's analog, with knobs on the MPC, that'll be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Where you can tune your own MPC for how loud you want the highs, how loud you want the lows, and how loud you want the mids. You know what I'm saying? And it'll keep you from going completely overboard. It'll be nicely set to where this is in between of what you can do, but it'll sound nice, and it'll have an ultimate compressor to where it's like two knobs. This is how you set it. Boom, boom, boom. Yo, your MPC can sound like yours. That's what they need to be thinking. How to set analog switches at the top to make your MPC sound like your MPC, however you want it. You want it to sound soft, you can make it sound soft. You want it to sound rock solid hard, you can make it sound rock solid hard. You want it to be in between, you can make it in between. It's whatever you want to tune and set it in. And then that'll teach people how to be better engineers. But I'm just trying to come up with some solutions. I ain't got the ultimate solution. I'm just dreaming right now. Ultimately, I love, what they're doing as far as the workflow. Like everybody is saying, like, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna bullshit you on the motherfucking, ain't gonna bullshit you on the sequence. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the ultimate sound, it's a little sus. But it's cool though, because there are solutions for it. But it is sus. And y'all can't even lie about it. Y'all can't even deny it either. It's like the sound, the output of the DAC, it's a little sus. It might not meant to be doing that. But it might just be a music production computer, and you have to have an external DAC to export its sound out of. That may be just the ultimate all-time solution, and whatever DAC you have, and however you set it, however you freak it, is going to give you your personal power over the MPC to where it sounds, your MPC has an advantage over somebody, because it is about having an unfair advantage. It is like cars. If we can't really take this thing and tune it up, and the DAC, the strapping the interface and the DAC to it gives us the option to tune it up. Because somebody can go out and buy Neumann MT48 and have plus 24 and be killing mugs. You know what I'm saying? The kicks and the snares got to be loud coming out of that. Because it's plus 24 total output. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna play tried and true. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, the SSL, the difference for that is you got options for compression, you got options for equalization, you got options for, you know what I'm saying, the fader gets plus 10 dB a gain. Now it comes in, the USB comes in after the actual super analog. So it comes in the circuit after the super analog preamps, but it's still the whole fucking circuitry of the damn SSL super analog. Super analog is not just the preamp. Super analog is their just complete build philosophy of what SSL is. You know what I'm saying? It's from front to back, power supply, everything. You know what I'm saying? It's how it's set up. It's the PCB board. You know what I'm saying? It's the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to get plus 27, that's what SSL is. But SSL is the, you know how Rob Bass said it takes two to make a thing go right? This is what this is. Just like my MPC needs my chord Chrome to have keys, strings, and all types of full library of sound and synths and just all types of stuff, just anything you think of, and a little bit of side selection of drums. It takes two. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. And so maybe this is the Dennis Rodman. Maybe the SSL Big Six is the Dennis Rodman, because it being an interface and being able to lay out all your stuff on a super analog mixer board, SSL mixer board, and being able to have access to equalizers and two channels being able to have compression, and then having the master bus compressor circuit built onto it where you can use that, the G bus compressor. Yeah, your SSL, or should I say, your MPC won't sound like anybody's because it's got SSL on it and you set the SSL. So then it becomes a whole nother dynamic of a machine. That's a solution. Is we gonna have to freaking Fast and the Furious these machines. Whether y'all want to go out and get the Black Line mod, which I don't think they make the best DACs, because they don't have the DACs with the highest level of output. You know what I'm saying? Like, I even looked it up. I was finna buy one of their DACs when I seen that they did the upgrade. I was like, well, why can't I just buy one of their digital to audio converters and then just strap that to that and then just have, you know what I'm saying, the output? I don't need the other, you know what I'm saying, as far as like the clocking and all that. I don't need that. Like, I needed the sound, you know what I'm saying, like it should. Like, I think the actual computer hardware of it, the actual motherboard and the actual processor, the AMD processor, is fast enough to keep up as being a computer for doing as little that it is. It ain't doing a lot. It ain't doing as much as my damn real computer is, as far as going online. When I play the whole, like when I use Logic and I got, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't have no like VSTs up, so I don't use a lot of space when that comes about. But when it comes about like plugins, I do use a lot of I don't use a ton of plugins, but it's a good enough plugin. So my computer, like, this thing ain't really is built to that and is getting to that with the new stuff to do as much as my computer. But like I say, I can imagine somebody having an SE with all of the sounds and stuff on it and having it strapped to, you know, a keyboard or any MPC, because really at that point, man, it's about the drums. You know what I'm saying? An MPC is mostly used for drums. I know they're trying to put other sounds and stuff on it, but let's just be honest, man. The MPC is supposed to have drums in it, and you're supposed to strap some sound to it. You're supposed to be able to run MIDI and be able to easily navigate the MIDI channels to strap any synth or whatever other instrument you want to it. And then that way you have your own unique set of players to where your team sounds like different than your band, because this is the band director, the MPC. And so the band director just so happened to be the drummer. And the drummer knows how to play so well that he like, okay, I'm gonna tell everybody kind of what to do. I could play y'all instruments a little bit, but I'm just gonna tell y'all what to do. But I'm just gonna send out the information and the notes to what to play. And so the drummer is the leader of the band, which is the MPC. But everybody has their unique band based on whatever synth they want to pick. They want to pick, you know, this workstation with this workstation, this rack module with this rack module. That's how it used to be back in the day. Most used to have MPCs with like tons of sound rack modules because they like, okay, number 6, channel number 6, boom. I want this sound for this sound. I want these for this string. I want this, you know what I'm saying, this motif rack to go to this. I want this rolling rack to go to this. I want this chord rack to go to this. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And so, and there was a lot of other racks out there. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, that's why I'm like, yeah. A lot of people got to realize that the reason why the MPC was so valuable is because it could do all that, but the drum samples and stuff coming out of it was slim to none. So the drummer was truly the band leader because the kicks and the snares and the hi-hats and all that was second to none coming out the box. It was just hot. I don't know what the fuck. You know what I'm saying? I do know, but hey, we ain't gonna go there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That'll be a whole nother rant. You know what I'm saying? You know, that DAC. If it ain't, man, look, if the next device ain't plus 16 and they not reporting it, ain't no reason to even like rushing to buy it. You might as well just wait till it get on sale, or, you know what I'm saying, buy it off somebody used. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't even no reason to rush to buy it because, like, if you already got one, you got one. If you just coming in the game and you got the coin to spend, then hell yeah, buy the new Ferrari. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm like, man, the Enzo way better, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, the Enzo might be, you know what I'm saying, this much money, but the Enzo way better. And somebody else be like, well, this is way, like, well, buy that. I'm gonna stick with this Enzo because it's analog. And that mug, hey, that mug is straight naturally aspirated. You might have a hybrid system and all that stuff, and you can drive to the grocery store without the combustion engine. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get the Ferrari that make me, it really got a V12 in it. That V12 really sound like a V12. That's how it was back in the day. It wasn't like sometimes, it didn't sound like it was lacking in that department. And a lot of stuff has changed in times. And I know they making the new devices for the young people, but what the young people gotta realize is that sound does matter. And especially for somebody who mixes music. When a mixer gets your shit and it just sounds well already, it's less work to do. The work they have to do to it is gonna make it that much better. If they gotta fight and struggle to make your kick or your snare like really bump or snap, and it's methods to the madness, but they really can't really get it, they gotta do shit over and over again. It ain't gonna come out as great as the next person down the road that shit already was like that. So when it got to the mixer engineer level, it just made it even that much better. It was overkill. You want to have overkill. You want to have that unfair advantage. So I say all that to say the solution is pairing it up with external DAC, but preferably the Big Six, which the Big Six has options of routing it to that and being able to split it in the individual tracks. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people buying the Tascam. The Tascam cannot fucking hold a candle to a fucking SSL Big Six. So don't even try me. I know y'all gonna be the Tascam 12. Like, no. It can't hold a candle to a Big Six. It ain't super analog. So miss me with that. Yeah, SSL got way bigger history in the console game than Tascam. I know Tascam probably got a little bit, but they ain't got no history like SSL as far as like popular music, as far as like hit charts, as far as like big studios still using SSL. Yeah, like, yeah. So, yeah, man, comment down below. Let me know what you think, man. But yeah, that's my take on the on any MPC, man. You need to strap something to it. You need to, you know what I'm saying, RP Paul Walker, you need to like Fast and the Furious tune that thing up, Vin Diesel style, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? You gotta strap something to it. They got that fire, you know what I'm saying? So when that thing hit, it hit. So, yeah.